Labor has named the date for when its hotly contested changes to the tax treatment of property investments kicks in. The federal opposition's named New Year's Day for its revamp of negative gearing and capital gains tax systems, sparking a renewed debate about what the changes might mean for an already soft housing market. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
The housing market is Australia's pocket rocket. It's volatile, had years of going up, then it's downs, which is where we are now for some cities. Property prices having plummeted 10% in Sydney from last year, 9% in Melbourne, 7% in Perth, 5% in Darwin. Enter Labor.
Negative gearing and capital gains tax reforms will commence on the 1st of January.
The Labor Party giving property investors 9 months' notice of a tax crackdown should it win office.
Our policy is fully grandfathered. All investments that occur before the 1st of January will be quarantined.
Labor's plan would restrict the future benefits of negative gearing to new properties from January 1. The capital gains tax discount for new investments halved to 25%.
1 January can be marked in the diary as the time at which Australian homeowners will see the values of their properties diminish.
Pathetic tactics, that's all they have.
It's anti-investment policy and it's bad for renters.
Negative gearing, where losses on investment properties are used to minimise tax, has long been contentious. Of Australia's 3 million rental properties, 1.8 million are negatively geared, with an average loss of more than $6,500. That's a combined loss of $12.3 billion a year, used by investors to reduce their tax bill. It's not just Labor who voiced concern about negative gearing.
Negative gearing should be skewed towards new housing, so there is an incentive to add to the housing stock rather than an incentive to speculate on existing property.
But when Labor first proposed its property tax clampdown 3 years ago,
we want to make the playing field fairer.
The housing market was running hot.
But if you're changing the rules and regulations around housing, that is a slightly more volatile climate when you're in a falling market than in a rising one.
With 2/3 of Australians' wealth tied up in housing, Labor's policy won't be immune to coalition attack. But its policy is also highly lucrative, $35 billion over 10 years. Plenty to counter or even better the coalition's tax cuts in next week's budget. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.